You and welcome to today's edition of Press R. On Press R, we do not suppress our emotions. What we do on Press R is that we make sure that our good sense leads our discussions and debate, and that's exactly what we're going to do today. Our topic on today's edition of Press R is corruption. Can't we stop the cankerworm? And to talk about this day's topic, we have our full house already. We have our own consultant, Barrister Fombat Mujem, who is Barrister Law. Barrister, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Killian, and good day to co-panelists, good day to our televiewers. And I hope our discussions, our debates today will edify and educate the public on this corruption that has come to make its bed in our country.
And unfortunately, we're going to scatter the bed. We are working to scatter the bed as a country. Here to my left, I have Mr. Kweti teacher, Roland. You are of the Transparency International Cameroon. You're going to enlighten us on some of the things that are used to make sure to level, to judge who is corrupt, who is not corrupt. Welcome to the program, Roland.
It's always a pleasure being here, being at CRTV. Killian, thank you very much for having me. Good afternoon to all the televiewers out there. Good afternoon to the hundreds of thousands of IDPs out there. Good afternoon to the great Pinyin community. Okay,
you went individual. We also greet those people you have greeted. Thank you very much. We are honored by your presence on this set. To the extremes, left and right of the set, we have first Patrick Moore. Patrick Moore is desk editor of the only English language bilingual daily in Cameroon, the Guardian Post. Patrick, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Kidan. It's always a pleasure to be part of the program.
Now we have also with us Richard Lajong. He is the publisher of the Herald Tribune. Welcome to the program, Richard.
Thanks so much, Killian. It's my pleasure to be here once more, and I want to use this opportunity to greet all the viewers of Press R, and to say, at the end of the day, we hope that our contributions will be able to help the society to understand how we can actually fight corruption in our country.
Exactly. You have always been doing that. We're going to continue to do that today. Thank you very much, and thank you once again, ladies and gentlemen, for your confidence on this program. And we're going to set the ball rolling with the press review, and the first regular slot that we have on this program. It is done for us by Guy Roger Nana. Guy Roger.
Hi. The sorry state of the Babaju-Bamenda stretch of road has been a major concern for some newspapers this week. It is the lone story running through the Guardian Post from Monday through Friday. Monday's headline reads, "Deplorable state of the Bamenda-Babaju road. The economic, social consequences alarming," as Anglophone IDPs willing to return to the northwest fear the nightmare of traveling along the abandoned road. It goes further to cry out, "Bia, your second home is cutting off from the rest of the country." On its Tuesday issue, the paper thinks the deplorable state of the Bamenda-Babaju road is enhancing separatist agenda. On the Wednesday's edition, the bad road in that part of the country, to the Guardian Post, becomes our national shame, as the paper calls out, "Stop the lies telling," on Friday's issue. The Post newspaper opines that the sorry state of roads in Anglophone Cameroon portrays marginalization. The Voice wants to understand the Bamenda-Babaju road puzzle and questions a situation under control suddenly lost control in the northwest and southwest region. Cameroon Insider takes us inside the presidency of the Republic, where President Paul Biya received Nigeria's Minister of State at the Federal Ministry of Foreign Affairs, bearer of a message from the Nigerian president. The same paper reports that 493 absentee workers have been dismissed, according to reports from the Ministry of Public Service and Administrative Reform. Friday, May 21st, 2021. Still in the Insider newspaper, Khmer complains skids off runway and danger was however averted. No casualty was recorded after the incident at the Nsimalen International Airport last weekend. Thursday's edition of The Insider tells us that President Biya was represented at the extraordinary meeting of the Lake Chad Basin Commission in Abuja Tuesday by the Minister of State, Secretary General at the Presidency. The Herald Tribune fetes its 100th edition. The paper, in its Monday's edition, headlines that after 2 years at the Kondengi Maximum Security Jailhouse, Paul Chuta, popular Cameroonian blogger, has been released. According to the paper, he was arrested in 2019 after renowned journalist Calixte Beyala filed a complaint against him. Page 2 of the paper says that Doctors Without Borders will soon resume activity in the Northwest region. On Monday, the Post headlined, "Clashes in Bui leave homes on smoke." The Horizon. COVID gate. Ninche tells 20 to resign, but aides say she did no wrong. Meanwhile, the Southwest region and Cameroon bidded farewell to the Honorable Monjo Alifaka, MP for Fako West constituency and Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, as she was laid to rest over the weekend in her native Bojongo in Boya. In Tiko in the Southwest region, taxi drivers rally behind Honorable Fritz Ngeka Etoke for a peaceful community. This move is part of his actions to win the hearts of potential voters as he intends to reintegrate the spotlight. We conclude our press review with the lone bilingual daily, Cameroon Tribune. The paper says consultations between Nigeria and Cameroon amidst security concerns. Then, CAF's delegation satisfied with Cameroon's level of preparedness ahead of the CAN 2021. A CAF FIFA joint delegation has been visiting sports infrastructure around the National Triangle. The nation honors fallen legend, 103 years old, eldest member of Senate, Mfon V.E. Mukete, who bowed out on April 10th, 2021.
Thank you very much, Guy Roger Nana. We look forward to having you next Sunday for yet another press review, the regular slot on Press R. With that, we are going to get into our topic, corruption. Can't we stop it? We're asking we, which means we want to think that every Cameroonian at their level, high or low, has a role to play. There's corruption at the micro, there's corruption at the macro level. And we are going to make sure that before you point a finger, you should ask yourself whether you are going to justice with clean hands. We're going to start. We have several bodies, we have several organs in the country that have been created by different laws to fight corruption. We're going to look at them and see where they have gone right with the fight against corruption and where they could do better. We have Article 66 of the Constitution, which actually makes it very clear that people in public offices should declare their assets before and after office. We have the National Anti-Corruption Commission, CONAC, which is the main body fighting corruption in the country. We have NAFI, call it ANIF, the National Agency for Financial Investigation. We also have the audit bench of the Supreme Court, as well as the audit Supreme Audit Office, Consupe. Barrister, we're going to start with you, man of law, with Article 66 of the 1996 Constitution. Article 66, what is it all about?
You see, when you look at the 1996 Constitution, when this constitution was promulgated, they made a provision, Article 66, which clearly states that state officials, in fact, all those who have to do with management of state funds, they declare their assets before and after taking office. When you see this is from a distant look, you see the clear intention of a government willing to fight corruption. When you see this article embedded, it tells you that the government is on the crusade to fight corruption. But the question now comes to, when you look deeply into this article, you see where the tap is being closed. You see where the impediments come from. When you look at the last part of Article 6, that they said Article 66, it says the declaration of assets before the second part of declaration, the conditions of its implementation shall be determined by law. So this Article 66 comes out to tell us that public servants must declare their assets, or those who have to do with management of state funds must declare their assets immediately they take office and after they take office. But again, the last part of this article says the manner of the implementation of this article shall be made of a subsequent law, which means the article has to stay frozen to wait for the text of application. Now we go down in 2006. There is law number 2006/03 of the 25th of April 2006, which puts in place the text of application. Now you ask a question.
Of the Article
66.
Okay.
So we have the text of application of Article 66 that came in 2006, and again it took 10 years for the text of application to be put in place. So in 2006, the text of application has been put in place, which clearly defines, if you read that text, it tells you exactly how clean, how well this Article 66 can be applied. But again, this text is still handicapped by its Article 17, which says a decree of the President of the Republic shall put in place the commissions that has to receive these declarations. So again, this article cannot go operational because we are waiting for the commission to be put in place. We are now 15 years again down the lane. That commission is not yet in place. So you ask yourself the question, is the government really sincere in this crusade to fight corruption?
Well, you yourself, you have shown how systematically it has been coming up. Sincerity may not be the question because the text of application was put in place. I'm not after. But what does it matter? You are going to appreciate it from your own angle, Mr. Kweti, teacher Roland, a board member of Transparency International Cameroon. Before you go to that Article 66, what are the parameters you use to classify a country as most or least corrupt? Briefly.
Yes, please. Transparency International, that's the international secretariat in Berlin, Germany, has certain tools, the most prominent being the Corruption Perception Index. It is a tool that transparency gets into countries, discusses with partners, civil society, and or company managers, people of different sectors, different walks of life, even drivers, to ask them, discuss with them the level, their own perception about corruption within the country. So they clearly say it. You can, questions like, when lastly did you pay a bribe? You find situations, countries where out of 1,000 people interviewed, 600 say they paid a bribe. Another country will say maybe 100, others will say 50. There we see how the classification is being done.
Which means that there are variables that could fault that assessment.
No, not
because
really. I'm saying it's true. It is a perception. It is a perception. But people don't really exaggerate. You know, in 1998 and 1999, when Cameroon was classified successively the most corrupt country on earth, many people said it was fake, just as you're saying. Many people said, where are the proofs? Okay, but a few years later, we saw that it was just nothing but the truth. You take public transport from here to Okola, for example. You see the number of control posts on the way. Okay, I think if that questionnaire, Transparency International's questionnaire, was to be administered to you, they ask you a question: when or have you, within the past 7 days, come across a corrupt act, or have you paid a bribe somewhere? I think the answer obviously will be yes.
And that is why I made this point when I started the program. Corruption at all levels. Do you think if, as a driver, as a passenger, you have everything that is needed, you will not have to pay bribe?
I would like to tell you something, Killian. You know, somewhere, somehow, the level, that's the living standard of Cameroonians still matters a lot in this stuff. The law and order officials who are on the way, they are not very comfortable if the car is complete, okay, with the documents.
No, that's an
and not just that.
You cannot
No,
prove
I
that.
wanted to say this.
You
I can
cannot
prove
prove
it. I can prove it. I can prove it. Then, secondly, if you're applying the road Yaoundé Okola.
How do you prove that?
Okay. I said they are very happy because go there in the morning when they start work to 6 p.m. in the evening, you'll find no car impounded. I mean, they are making money from there, meaning that if these vehicles had their documents complete, they won't be making the money that they make on a daily basis.
No, you have not proven it.
No. I'm saying this. Permit me.
On Article 66.
Okay, on Article 66, you see that article which was supposed to be the tool for the judge to be able to question any person whom he thinks or who is suspected of embezzling public funds. We know of people, after graduating from certain big schools here, a few years later, you see mansions and vehicles in short. You see the living standard increases, multiplies a million folds, and which does not actually rhyme with your salary. So a judge normally has to be able to call you, to question you that you've been working for maybe just 5-10 years. What is the source of your wealth? And he cannot do that. He cannot do that without knowing what this man had before he started work.
Yes,
before he took over.
In terms of that article, I concede. But the government has other agencies. It's called NAFI, if you like, ANIF.
National
Agency
Financial,
for the Financial Investigation. They don't need to come out clearly. They have been doing that job. So if you just go globally saying that cannot be done, I think we all agree.
No, let me tell you
true.
something. I happen to be a member of a ministerial anti-corruption unit as well. So I can talk with I can talk with a lot of confidence and certainty here. I want to tell you that a fish will never give money to a fisherman to buy a fishing hook. Okay? Did you get that? A fish will not give money to a fisherman for a fishing net or a fishing hook. So what I want to tell you is that the fight against corruption in Cameroon, the government has been doing this. They are doing their best. But you look deeply into it. Legislators are legislating to encourage corruption rather than to fight corruption. Let me prove it again. I know you asked me to prove that out. I want to tell you, you look this 2012 law creating the Special Criminal Tribunal. That's a tribunal that encourages embezzlement. I've been saying this over and over. Please, it's a tribunal that states that if you embezzle money and then you pay this money back, okay, you can go free. You can go. That's the Minister of Justice, in collaboration with the Presidency of the Republic, can stop the proceedings. Do you imagine a country where there are 3 arms of government, where each is supposed to be independent, and then at the same time, where is the independence of the magistrate? Okay, the minister can come in. And then please, Killian, if you first of all embezzle 50 billion, for example, you put it in a bank. 2-3 years after, do you know how much that will give you? And then worse again, some people are interpreting it as being a political tool or a political weapon. That some people have paid their own money, they've gone free. Others have paid and they are still in prison.
We still have time. Look at Roland. Cameroonians have said, and I think I can say this clear and loud, that instead of letting these people in prison, they should pay this money because it will be used to construct the road.
That is the
idea. And then we stop. But what we are saying is that it is contrary to this.
That is the main idea why the TCS was created.
I'm going to come to you, Barrister. He has said the legislators, you are of that area, that domain, working to encourage corruption. Do you accept?
No, I think that the Special Criminal Court is like an ad hoc court that has been created to address a particular problem that goes to help in the fight against corruption, in the sense that this court is a court that has rapid procedures to permit investigation and the sanction of those who are found guilty of embezzlement of public funds.
I wish Barrister could tell me how long the former boss of this house stayed without being judged.
Listen, and the cry of Cameroonians has been that the funds embezzled are in private pockets and the people are prosecuted and they are in jail and there's nothing being done. The law now, the state came now with a
The human face
of the law, giving the possibility of those who voluntarily pay back what they are accused of. You are paying back what you are accused of. If you pay back, then you can apply for the Minister of Justice to consider suspending or dropping criminal charges against you. It is not automatic. It is the appreciation of the Minister in charge of Justice. And Minister of Justice, as you know, is the head of the prosecution in Cameroon by the Judicial Organization Ordinance. He is at the head of the legal department. So after you pay back voluntarily, you apply, then there could be a possibility of the minister studying and ordering that criminal charges should be suspended against you. I think for me, it is a way for us to get back the money and plow back into the economy.
That is exactly it. It's clarified. That's why you are here.
No, please, Killian. Please.
Has he not been so clear?
No, it's not clear.
I think
okay, the discussion will go round. It has to go round.
It appears to be a one-on-one conversation.
That particular point you could not clarify. You could not.
Several minutes gone into the program and actually
you cannot clarify it the way Barrister has done, could you?
No, it's not a matter of clarifying it.
Okay,
Sometimes
go
I
ahead.
think
Go
I have
ahead.
to
It's not an
respect
argument
people's
between you and I.
opinion.
You have the floor.
It's a panel discussion. We're not the tribunal where we're defending
you have the
opinions.
floor. You have the floor. Do you accept, first of all, that we are talking, first of all, about Article 66 of the Constitution, that the spirit is good. The spirit is actually positive to fight against corruption, whatever comes after that.
Well, I don't know what you mean by the spirit. To me, I've always said repeatedly that...
I can tell you what I mean by the spirit.
Then you better explain, because like I was about saying, to me, it is not enough to have the laws. But implementing them is what people want. And that is why the law is there. It is useless having a law when the law cannot be implemented. It doesn't get results. Now, I will tell you that Cameroon appears to have one of the best laws in the world. We have the best laws. But yet, the implementation is the biggest problem that we have. Because you cannot have a law, for example, the Article 66, which is part enshrined in the Constitution of 1996, adopted in 2008. And you have a provision like declaration of asset. And like Barrister said, it took 10 years for the text of application to come out. And now we're waiting for a presidential decree, an executive order to create a body that will now be in charge of that. And then you tell me we're serious about fighting corruption. Honestly, fighting corruption is not an isolated thing. Cameroon is not inventing the wheel. Other countries have examples that we can copy from. Sure. I use the example of Botswana. The law on declaration of asset is very clear. You do not occupy a public office without declaring your asset. In Botswana, they are leading the fight against corruption. In Nigeria might not be a proper example, but efforts have been taken. Even the head of state, it starts with the number one person. Buhari declared his asset during his first mandate and even cut his salary by half. It begins from there. Let's not give the impression as if the laws are there for certain people. The law is not respected of persons. Now, if a leadership doesn't lead by example, then the leadership is not worthy enough to lead.
Now, let me ask you this question. It's personal, and it's within the framework of fighting corruption.
That's right.
The person who is at a macro level siphoning 50 billion, for example. Let us just say 50 million where the special criminal tribunal comes in. If you decide to intervene or beg somebody to employ your brother, your sister, don't you think that all of us Cameroonians, including you, including me, we have not changed our minds as we blame the other people up there?
Killian, the facts are very clear. Nobody is trying to play sainthood here. We are not saints. All of us are involved in the mafia. But Cameroonians are largely involved because of the corrupt nature of this country. That is to say, if
when you say Cameroonians,
if you're asking about bribing to enter a school, if entry into the school was based on merit, that is to say, if you succeed, you succeed. Okay. But in a country where there's a lot of what they call godfatherism, in single quote.
So you just join it?
You have to. Otherwise,
if you join it, it means you've soiled your hands.
We are saying the same thing. I'm saying that if the mechanism is put in place to ensure that what you merit should be given to you, people will not have they will not even think about bribing to get public services that are normally supposed to, by their fundamental right, is supposed to be delivered to them free of charge.
Okay.
But in the event where you have to oil somebody's lips in order to get this service rendered here and there.
Must
You
you
just
all-
have to follow the bandwagon.
No, that you cannot justify.
We are not justifying corruption. I'm saying that I'm saying that it is a systematic issue.
Patrick is saying.
Yeah, it was your
With
turn.
this example,
Patrick, are you satisfied?
I'll
No,
give-
not
I'll give an
satisfied. The
example.
discussion is on.
I'll give an example of a child who told me that they're writing an end of course exams, and the rule is that you don't fidget, you don't turn left or right. And there was a classmate sitting by him who was virtually not doing anything, expecting that he should assist him and show him the answers. And when he refused, because he did not want to break the rules of the exam, and they came out of the examination hall, this child was like chastising the other one for refusing to show him answers, and told him, you know, my father is up there. When I will get there and you come to my office, I'm going to treat you very badly.
It begins from there.
It begins from there. That child already knows that saying that his father is up there means that whatever, he can go to anywhere. And today, that child is in a professional school, and the other one is in a professional school, but you still, I'm sure he still has in mind that because you failed to, you refuse to show me answers, and I'm here, I'm going to treat you each time, anytime I meet you, you come across me.
See what you say in your example. The two are in professional school. One has a godfather, born a big person, and the other does not have, which shows that they're still married. Because both of them are in professional school.
The margin is very minimal.
One went in through because they has a godfather, but the other one went in because of merit.
Please, Killian, you ask a proof.
And
So now you accept that there's merit in this country?
Yeah,
all the
for
same.
sure.
no, there is to an acceptable level.
sure.
There is.
Killian.
I mean, there are people
Let him-
who can still get into some of these professional schools without passing through Godfather, but those ones are sometimes just the smoke screen. But a majority go in through Godfatherism.
Now let me ask Richard this question. Are you saying that the children of rich people or socially well-placed people, all of them, that they are not intelligent? By what you
They
by
can
what
be
you are
intelligent,
explaining?
Kylian. They can be intelligent. Let me use an example without calling names. A minister was appointed. The daughter had been writing the name for 3 years and failing. The day the father was appointed, a minister delegate in this country, without calling names, the daughter got admitted into a NAM immediately. You cannot tell me that she all of a sudden developed some strange knowledge and passed only the year.
but you are not answering
Answer a question.
No,
Let me
you
answer
are
a
not
question.
answering my question.
Let me
Yes,
answer a
Richard,
question. Let me
yes.
answer a question.
Yes.
99% of children of these people of a social, certain level,
Bourgeoisies.
they don't find time. Those children don't read because they know that they have their father is there.
Influence peddling, yeah.
They will just send them wherever they want to go. I mean, the examples are clear in this country, Killian. We have children
Richard.
in a NAM
Richard.
who, because their
Richard.
father is
Richard.
up there and they are there.
Richard.
But you find somebody from a village somewhere in Esu struggling to read, burning the midnight candles, and will not have the opportunity. But somebody who sits, folds his arms, tomorrow is admitted into a NAM, even without writing the exam.
Please, Killian.
Your declaration is a gross exaggeration.
It is not
No,
gross.
it's not
The NAM results have been cancelled in this country more than twice.
We don't
based
have
on
only
It's not
lack of
gross.
transparency.
The NAM is just one of the examples.
just
There
one
are
of
other professional schools where you need to go in. People pay in huge sums of money to get into some of these.
Once they
No,
come out,
that's
the
not
only
the-
thing that
that's
comes to
not
their
the
mind is
debate.
They're collecting money, and that is why we said
that is not the debate.
we come back to this Article 66
Yeah, it's a visual cycle.
because some of these people, when they are appointed, 2-3 years, you see the mansions they are building, you see the type of cars they
posh
ride.
cars that they
I mean, the type of lifestyle that they live. You start asking yourself, how much does this person
It's not
earn?
commensurate to the person's
Now,
salary.
Now, let me ask you this question, Richard. You asked for time, I will give you time to speak. You have the green numbers of the National Anti-Corruption Committee. You have the green numbers. You know where to go to meet the National Agency for Financial Investigation. You even just have the police and the gendarmes and all other around you. No, don't lie. See, what effort? What effort? What? No, to be very frank with you, we have examples of Connect. Do you know the number? No. You have not made any effort.
No,
have you made any
I
effort?
think Konak to me again is another group created to chop.
At transparency, you have Kajak. There's a center for
to me, does not.
judicial assistance.
How do you think that Konak will be able to sanction somebody when he has no powers?
Konak are among
somebody up there has to decree that this person should be.
That also is an exaggeration. So many people are in prison because Konak has done investigation.
Let me use an example.
Yes, let me give Richard this information. Let me give Richard this information. You are going to speak. Konak has a monthly bilingual newsletter. Get in contact as a news person. You will get information and you will not be the same person.
We cannot fight corruption through newsletters.
No, it's knowledge first of all is the power.
Until 2017,
yes.
Konak used to publish details of those accused of having siphoned state funds.
Exactly.
Until 2017. After 2017, the annual reports from Konak started coming with the initials of suspected embezzlers. The initials, that is to say, their name is in that kill and it will come with NK without disclosing. Let me tell you, one of the best method in fighting corruption is to bring in the moral part. That is to say, by denouncing, by shaming and naming certain individuals.
We have a barrister of law.
No, killer.
We have a barrister.
It was not against the law. It is not against the law. There's a minister who is currently in government who was implicated.
Yes.
Killian, I'm not yet done. I'm saying that in 2013, a current member of government was implicated in the Konak report. He's still in government as we speak, right? And you tell me Konak is fighting corruption.
Do you know why?
No, let's not end there. The same minister has been agreed at the special tribunal more than 3 times. And you are in government. Once your identity is already stained, there is no way you can pass for you cannot pass for occupy a public office. It doesn't happen anywhere. People have resigned in parts of the world just because they were implicated in scandals, financial scandals.
We cannot.
Let's be serious.
We cannot refuse that.
Konak doesn't have the power to fight corruption.
We cannot refuse that. Richard, Cameroon, every country has its specificities.
No, but we can copy what is good.
We have been borrowing from elsewhere. We have been borrowing examples from elsewhere. So why can't we also borrow the fact that if your name appears that you have accused for doing one, you resign and open yourself to the judiciary for investigation?
Do you agree? Please, let us not just be seen. See,
I wanted to say this.
No,
please,
see, you would speak.
No, there's a question you asked that
you answer my question.
We may get lost.
No, we'll not get lost. We'll just jot it. This is we are following the trend of the debate. I'm with you. If you say that, then we are not honest. That ministers have left their office table from the office and gone to prison in Cameroon. Yeah. Do you accept that?
Yes.
Now, if you accept it, Cameroon also honors its officials and they make sure that the right time comes, they go to prison. So that also is a way of life.
Let me say something.
When the right time comes, we keep procrastinating, and when we procrastinate, a lot of things happen. Before we come for control, everything was.
Our televiewers need to get something from what they are getting.
Actually, what do you want to say?
You know, Patrick a while ago said something here, which you said 2 wrongs cannot make a right.
That's what
I want to tell you that there are corruption, as you say, there are situations where you are like obliged. Yeah. For example, if you carry a sick baby to a hospital, a dying baby to the hospital, and they tell you need to illegally deposit 10,000, 5,000 francs for the doctor to leave his house to the hospital. What will you do? You are obliged to do that. That's just one.
You will not start citing the laws that
let him finish.
You first of all deal with that situation.
Patrick.
No, the law takes control of that. We call that state of necessity.
So
that is not in law, state of necessity.
Mitigating circumstances. I know that very well. Yeah. So I wanted to say that our leaders lack these major pillars of integrity. Okay,
our leaders. No, that's an exaggeration. Some of our leaders.
Everything is an exaggeration.
No, you cannot globally.
Let us accept.
They lack the moral authority to fight corruption.
I want to say this.
That example.
Because those who are fighting the corruption don't have the moral.
They don't have the moral authority to fight the corruption.
Please, let me tell you something.
I am coordinating this here.
Yes, I know that.
Can you listen to me?
If you brought me as an expert,
can you listen? Can you listen?
No, can you listen from us as well?
No.
In 2014, in April, a minister was kicked out of office.
Roland, you are bringing this order instead. You have given an example.
Yes, please.
You cannot just accept us that when you make the declarations that we want to follow up, you don't want us. Look at You have given an example that you go to the hospital with a child who is sick, and you are forced to bribe, which is wrong.
Which is wrong, yeah.
It's wrong.
You want to save a soul.
No, you have saved that soul. And then after that, you carry your child back home.
Sure.
Without doing anything, without denouncing that person. That is what you are saying.
Yes,
then you are more corrupt than
Let
that
me
person.
tell you something, please.
No, what do you say? What do you say to this?
Denunciation? No, I will not denounce because I may be called to go to the hospital again, and maybe that doctor will not.
Doctor.
Yes, please. So I want to say this. In 2014, first of
How
April.
do you expect corruption to stop when you internalize that type of behavior?
Okay, I want to say this. Denunciation is capital in the fight against corruption. It's very important, denunciation. But the issue is that the way our anti-corruption drive was drafted, okay, a barrister said there that it makes us doubt if actually it was meant to fight corruption. The protection, go to the United Nations Convention Against Corruption, the Merida Convention, you will see the protection of the denunciator. It is well written, inscribed in that document. But is Cameroon applying that? How protected?
Have you done it and you're not
please,
protected?
I want to say this. How protected is the denunciator or the whistleblower in Cameroon? Is there any anti-corruption law in Cameroon that spells that out? If yes, because
answer that question.
That convention clearly states that in certain cases, the government can even change your face, okay? Can even modify your look to protect you. So denouncing is good. I said in April 2014, a minister, that's the judge of the TCS, that's the Special Criminal Tribunal, sent her boys to a ministry here in Cameroon, and a minister was taken from office to the court, to Kondengi. And a few hours after, she was ordered to release the guy. This is just
a sitting minister.
A sitting minister, for sure. May he so rest in peace. So what I want to say here is
I thought what you said before was that a minister cannot be taken that day.
The minister was taken,
and what happened at the end?
but 2-3 days after, a few hours,
he
was back in his office. We all saw him trembling and all whatnot. So when you
probably because the procedure in court is procedure. No, let him react to something Roland said.
No, stay about this. Just stay about the Special Criminal Tribunal. The issue is, at the start of the program, I said Yaoundé. When I talk Yaoundé, I'm talking about the leadership of this country. They do not have the political will to fight corruption.
Exactly.
If we have the political will to fight corruption, we will stamp out corruption within the next 10 years. We can set an agenda. How
do you explain all the big people who are in?
No, wait. It is not enough to
that's already a will.
Let me explain why the political will is not there. We have to begin by dissolving some of the so numerous institutions fighting corruption that we have in this country.
And the cooperation.
No, barrister, it is my opinion.
Okay, it's an opinion.
Strictly my opinion. We start by dissolving and we empower a single institution, say CONAC, for example, with both powers to investigate and to prosecute. Like it is the case of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission in Nigeria, EFCC.
Exactly.
They have the right to prosecute. Let me tell you, there's a lot of politics. If CONAC does their report, like I'm talking about, a sitting minister in this country was indicted in the CONAC report in 2012. He's still a member of government 8 years after. I'm saying that the report is deposited at the presidency and approved by the presidency before it is published. After it is published, it is handed to the Special Criminal Court here in Yaoundé. Whatever happens is not the business of CONAC anymore. That is to say, you can imagine the pile of reports that we have at the TCS, and they act according to their whims and caprices. People are indicted and they die without.
You cannot speak that way.
No, these are the issues. I'm sure Press Eye is a program where we come here to say the issues the way they are.
For 5 minutes,
you want to censor what I now say on air?
No.
For 5 minutes, you are speaking alone.
No, I'm not speaking alone. I'm trying to develop a point because you asked about the political will. That's why I'm explaining the lack of the political will. That they should be given the powers.
Not on end.
Government should not create an institution and then hold a rope. And then they are trying to tell a guy from the background. That's the point I'm making.
Let him and let us understand the procedure, because some of those things follow procedure in court, that you don't compare one case to another. I think so. Can you clarify?
No, I think what Patrick is saying, he has a point. What we all should agree is that we have institutions that are put in place to fight corruption which have shortcomings. And what we should be looking is trying to see where are these shortcomings and how these shortcomings need to be amended. Right. I agree with you that when you look at the law organizing CONAC, its Article 22 clearly stipulates that CONAC, after investigation, forwards the report to the presidency. I personally think that is wrong. I think that CONAC needs to be given the powers to direct, engage prosecution. And not even like that. If you look at the law creating ANIF, it's a bit soft there in the sense that that law gives ANIF the powers to report, to send a report directly to the Procureur General. Yes. But for me, as a lawyer, I still find a problem there when I see the judicial organization in Cameroon, how it functions, in the sense that the Procureur General is under the direct supervision of the Minister of Justice, which means the Procureur General, even if he receives, he has to get instructions from the Minister of Justice. But there is a way out. In court, we have what they call direct prosecution. Not direct prosecution. We have the way of we have the examining magistrate that can be seized directly. Magistrates are more independent than the prosecution, than state prosecutors. So if we restructure or modify these laws, we give CONAC, for example, the possibility of, after every investigation, transfer the file to an examining magistrate who has a number of days to open investigation. And we should understand, our televiewers should understand that investigations does not mean you are guilty. Yes. There is a presumption of innocence. So if CONAC initiates investigation through an examining magistrate, you are called up. If you can justify the you go back home. That's fine. So I think that is why we should be looking at what are the impediments, how can we modify to make it more effective.
Yes, I talk about legislators legislating wrongly or poorly. We have almost a whole government in prison because of corruption. The handpicking of isolated corporates,
we have members
individuals.
We have members of government.
Yeah, I say, I say a cabinet. They can form a cabinet there.
I'm sure just about 3 or 4 ministers.
Yes, I don't know why you are always on the defensive, Mr. Killian, when I'm talking. I want to say this, that the handpicking of isolated individuals is not what is going to solve the problem of corruption in Cameroon. We need a serious institutional review, coordination between these different anti-corruption bodies. There are just so many of them. He started by saying some of them should even be you can merge or maybe eliminate some. Okay, some are even useless, like the ministerial anti-corruption units. I say I am a member of one, but it's the minister who appoints me. For sure. I say I'm a member of one. That's what I'm saying.
And you are not resigned.
Permit me. Let me come. Let me land, please. I say I'm a member of a useless body. I'm appointed by that person whom I'm called upon to.
You cannot say that.
No, I am supposed to investigate him.
You cannot be saying one thing and
then I give my report to him. Permit me killing. I said,
you are an integral part of a useless body.
It's difficult to. Gaga Amanhati said, we go down, we eat granite and biscuits. Okay? Did he die after having said that? So why don't you want me to say same? I'm saying that I am called to investigate somebody who is the one who appoints me. He is the one to whom I send my reports. He is the one who finances my activities. Okay? Will he give me money to go and investigate him? So I'm saying that we have to review.
Look, we have problems.
I'm telling you, I am a member.
Roland, we have.
Ministry. I won't call names here.
No, leave the ministry.
I'm a member.
Roland,
I am telling you that.
Roland, from your declarations,
yes, please.
That if you take a child to the hospital and you need they ask for a bribe. No, please. Well, you will give a bribe, but after that you will not denounce. There's a problem of integrity.
Well, we need a
please wait. There's a problem of integrity. Now you have said you are a member of an anti-corruption body unit which you think that it is useless. And you continue to be there. You continue to be there.
Sure.
Is there no problem of integrity as far as you are concerned?
Okay.
I mean you as a person.
I as an individual, okay, you want to know if the level of integrity. I want to tell you that 2 months back, I wrote to my minister trying to bring her attention to some of the irregularities. Because for the year 2020, I mean, no franc on that commission's budget was used. Okay? I mean, no franc does not mean work was not done. I worked. So I'm telling you that
You are paid?
You were not paid.
Yeah.
no, I'm paid for sure. But I said for the whole of 2020.
It's okay.
For 2020,
No,
I said
that is
no
not
franc. I said no franc.
That's not our debate.
So
That's not our
yes,
debate.
now I don't want to tell you that.
But you have a problem of integrity.
No, I'm telling you that I have to call to pull the minister's attention that it is not working. Maybe she has given maybe instructions to other members of the ministry to do what they were supposed to do, but maybe they did not do it. So I have now to pull her attention.
After him, we're going to speak. Let me say something to Roland. We have people in this country, and when I will say that, you agree with me, who do not take certain allowances from some commissions, from some committees, from some other areas where they don't feel comfortable. We have a good number of those people in this country. That's what we call integrity, and that's how change can be. From what you are saying, you are not.
But I think it is his right. If an allowance has been allocated and you attend maybe the session, it is your right to take that money.
It's not even a matter of attending a session. You do the work. You do the work.
It is your right.
It's not even a matter of attending a session.
Let's narrow down the...
Because if you don't take, somebody will take.
Let's not narrow the...
You are getting out of
So we're
the way.
saying that if it is possible...
Actually, at the point we're really getting out of the way because we seem to be narrowing down the fight. We're trying to make it look so small.
Yeah.
The fight against corruption in this country is a very big challenge. But the impression I have for about 20 years now that we have really been on with the fight. Like he said, after the trophy of shame that we won in 1998 and 1999 as the most corrupt country in the world, government seems to have taken some good number of steps to try to curb corruption. But my impression is that the anti-graft bodies they seem to be focusing so much on the big thieves. Killian, have you enrolled a child in any of the government schools around Yaoundé here? I'm talking about the lycée.
That's exactly the point I made. That
so
you go pay, but you only face...
When you go to these schools, they tell you, oh, if your son or your daughter didn't pass in this school, maybe wasn't in Form 2, he or she cannot get into Form 3 without paying 100,000. It goes unnoticed under the very nostrils of CONAC here, Secretariat of Palais de Congrès. The corruption, people have denounced those acts of corruption every day. But no principal has ever been arrested in this country. Yeah. You can quote me one. Yeah. No boss has ever been arrested in this country. No head teacher. Because even when the article or the Article 66 narrows down to even directors of central administration, and most of these principals are ranking as such, if we're supposed to declare asset, all of the principals in these schools here, in Bamenda, the big GBHS and all those schools, you cannot gain admission without paying. Okay. And I hear that teachers even when investigating, we went investigating and discovered that each teacher has 3 spaces that is offered to the teacher to bring people through the back door. When does that happen? What corruption have we been talking about?
Have you reported? No.
But when you must I be the one to report? People have been denouncing.
See,
even you who is moderating the program must have done that.
This is what happens. This is what happens. This is how change goes.
When you keep saying whether somebody has denounced or not, all these issues are being denounced and nothing is being done.
Nothing is being done.
CONAC is there, they know.
So
so long as they don't have the power to protect.
Is that a stated number of denunciations that must come before an action is taken?
Patrick and Richard, if you really want change, if we want change, this is what is known about change. Let that change I want be me.
It begins from you.
That's what I was trying.
And that's not the principle you are defending here.
I was trying to say, when we're looking at this fight, the fight against corruption, we have the micro and the macro level of corruption. But I think that everybody is responsible for where we are today. I think we are responsible. The government is responsible. The civil society is responsible. I'll take a small example. We have turned to hero worship the fruits of corruption.
Yeah.
In our society, those who display the corpus litis, those are the people we hero worship. Go to our churches. Those who brandish billions,
they sit on the front row.
They sit on the front row. Get to the government. Those who have amassed public wealth, that the people who are brought into government to be able to finance the ruling party,
giving medals
we
at the end of
are
the year.
all there. Let me take a simple example. This one I hear, I didn't leave it then. In the days of Western Cameroon, they talked of a story of a police officer who was alleged to have taken a bribe, and the news went round. And that police officer's wife went to the market to sell. Everybody refused to sell to the woman because she might be having dirty money.
And that's where
the woman went back home to send a friend to buy for her.
Very good.
That is why I mean that we have to. The government has. I agree. The government has the bigger responsibility because the government has the responsibility of putting in those legal framework that will empower, that will do an effective fight against corruption. That can be visible.
Said of lack of political will.
Well, let me say something. I just wanted to add something to what Barrister said, please. I'm begging you.
Speedily.
I want to say that we keep saying the government. I think our leaders, I keep saying our leaders, some of them need to be models, okay? Models in whom we or the common man can see himself or look up to. They need to be trustworthy.
Thank you.
Okay, they need to be firm. They need to be responsible. But we see them every day telling lies to Cameroonians. Instead of being firm in their actions, they are firm by opening eyes and shouting at the people. They will say something today, and tomorrow we see just the contrary. So now it has an effect on the common man. They need to be good citizens. They need to be patriotic, sir. Somebody who embezzles 50 million francs from his country is not a patriot, and it's worth even denying his nationality.
That's correct. There's nobody who
and you know that the law says if you embezzle from 500,000 francs, it's life imprisonment.
Do you understand that when you ask to speak and we let you speak, you just go and go? Now this is the point. We have 8 minutes to go to the end of this program. We have listened to you. You have denounced what is happening. Now, what is the way out? How should it happen? The suggestions you are giving, there's somebody listening. Richard.
The first thing for me is that there should be that political will that those who are appointed should be, declare their assets, and when they leave office, they should come back there. We should not always wait that instructions to come from somebody up there before somebody is prosecuted. The longer we keep waiting, we delay, that's how things to continue to get bad. We should start immediately. And like you said, starting from ourselves. I agree. Let us start from ourselves. But I'm afraid our situation, we really need a completely new generation that will be able to, clear out the corruption in which we find ourselves today.
Yes.
We need a completely new generation because you and I sitting here is difficult. We have all been merged into it.
Barrister.
I think that we need to work more on legislation. When I say legislation, I'll take a small example in 2 minutes. There is the UN Convention to Fight Against Corruption that was ratified by Cameroon even before it went into application, which means the will of the government is there. But now the government goes again to drag feet on the recommendations of this UN legislation. If I make a random example, you look at Article 20 of the UN Convention, it clearly recommends all member states to enact legislation to sanction illicit enrichment.
For sure.
Illicit enrichment means any amount of money that you cannot justify with your legal source. If we have that law on illicit enrichment, it might still go to cover the gap created by the Article 66. So I think that legislation is necessary for us to be able to boost up the fight against corruption.
Thank you. We want to welcome Teke Elvis, who has reactions from our viewers. Teke, you just stay put, and we'll go around the table with what actually do you propose as a way out, Roland?
Sure. I think the independence of anti-corruption institutions is wonderful. It's needed. Financial independence, and then judicial as well. Then institutional reforms. We need to reform these anti-corruption institutions as well, and then the people who man these institutions, their moral standards should be taken into consideration as well. Education too is another stuff on which if we should focus. Citizenship and morals should go back. We used to teach children citizenship in school through civics.
Yes.
So and
citizenship now.
Yeah. So I wanted to say that that spirit of patriotism needs to be reawakened within even the leaders and then our children.
Thank you. Yes, Patrick.
There are three things, Killian. The first thing is truth.
Yeah.
And they will need trust then before transparency.
Okay.
Because it is disheartening that in a country like Cameroon, just 3 years or 2 years ago, the director in charge of good governance program at the Prime Minister's office was arrested on grounds of corruption. Someone who's in charge of the good governance program.
Yeah, that shows that
What?
Follow up.
Yes. In 2016, renowned lawyer Tumfo Barrister Nico Hale said, HIV, malaria, and tuberculosis combined have not killed people in this country
like corruption has.
Because if you want to start imagining the amount of money that people have pocketed that is destined for social amenities like hospitals, water, roads, and all of that. Even in your native Oku, where you come from,
I'm proud.
People have embezzled. Yeah, no, I did not say you are not proud. Yes, people have embezzled money destined for roads. People could not.
Thank you.
So
I wanted a way out. You have used it.
Once corruption gets to that level, once corruption gets to that level where somebody can even embezzle money meant for the purchase of drugs for community hospitals and all of that, then you can start imagining the magnitude of
that. We wanted
the acts
you
of
to give
corruption.
your suggestion on how we can stop that. You've used the time given to you to continue to explain. We're going to have reactions from some of you who have been watching us and reacting promptly. And Elvis Teke has been following that up, and he's here with us. Elvis?
Yes, there are quite a number of reactions. The reaction of us engaging as the debate has been set here. We'll take a few, beginning with Prince Mutabeme Obisa Mudika, who says corruption is endemic in Cameroon. We need to implement the carrot and stick method to combat the disease, ravaging and crippling the economy, and the declaration of assets as in section 66 of the Constitution should be proclaimed. And Ibrahim Usman says every beginning has a beginner and all beginners have a creator, and corruption is gaining grounds in Cameroon, but it can be eradicated if sanctions are put in place for those concerned and properly followed up. And Kelvin Cham says for us to stop the cankerworm that has eaten deep into the fabric of the nation, moral and civic education, religious studies should be the most compulsory subjects from nursery school to university and should be written in all public concours. Article 66 should also be implemented.
The last one.
And the last one for Eugene, who says when the corrupt are caught and they be emptied of the state money in their keeping and set free, imprisoning them will not bring back the money.
Thank you very much, Elvis, and thank you for your contributions. We promise you that we have another topic for next week, and you will do the same. I want to thank you, gentlemen, for coming. Richard Ndelajong, the publisher of the Herald Tribune, thank you very much. It was an honor to have you.
Thank you.
Yes, Barrister Fombat Mujem, Barrister Law, thank you very much for your contributions.
Thank you.
Yes, we have a gentleman, a board member of Transparency International Cameroon, Roland Teacher, Kweti. Welcome. Thank you for your contributions.
Thank you very much, Killian.
Our own chief, Patrick Moa, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you, Killian.
Okay. Thank you. That's what we had time for you this Sunday. Have a good day.
No rebroadcast.
Le Covid-19 existe. Il tue, il fait des ravages au sein des familles. Je l'ai eu, je sais de quoi je parle. Vous également, vous pouvez l'avoir.